Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett and I am so excited because in today's video, we're talking about trends I think we are going to see in 2025. Yes, I know a lot of people are doing these, kind of trend predictions videos, but I'm always ahead of the curve. I'm always about 2 years ahead. They're talking about stuff I talked about last year, which that's fine. The first thing I think is going to be a major trend for 2025 that I'm very excited about are actually solid colored rugs. This is something we're seeing right now. It's currently in production. You see it all of the time on social media. A lot of people opt for them. And I think it's going to be an even bigger trend in 2025 because of the versatility and because of the accessibility also. We have to talk about rugs and why they're expensive. Because when you get a rug that's the appropriate size for your home or a room, it tends to be a pretty large rug. And that can be very expensive. So a lot of people are wanting to get away from these really high-end and expensive, like hand-knotted Turkish rug. They're thousands of dollars. And a lot of people just don't have access to that, especially right now, which is fine. And the accessible alternative to that is a solid colored rug, depending on the space. Like you could go for a jute rug, right? And that's, you get a lot of rug for your money there, but that's a texture not everybody wants. It's a little bit coastal or beachy feeling, and that's just not everybody's home. So a solid colored rug is great. You can also find these in good materials. So instead of it just being like a polypropylene synthetic, whatever, you can find them that are cotton, that are wool, that are silk at more accessible prices. Plus, they're often hand tufted, and that means that they're more accessible, they're easily made, and I think that's good. Solid colored rugs are great for modernizing spaces though. So if you have a traditional design and you like that, and you say, it's so layered, it's so heavy, I want to tone it down, I want to up the luxury factor on it a little bit, the solid color rug is going to be your best friend because you can find them in so many colors. If you want an all black rug, you can do that. That's a little bit out there, but maybe you want a cream rug, a beige rug, or a specific tone. I find the best rugs on Etsy. That's probably my favorite place because you have a lot of affordable rugs there. You have a lot of options there. You can also find some rug manufacturers that they're making the rugs to order. And so you can pick specific tones if you need something really specific, because not everybody knows somebody that custom makes carpets for their home, right? That's a really good way to get something absolutely perfect, to get that really clean, finished designer touch and polished detail in your home. And even though I should be, I'm not even sponsored by Etsy. No matter what phase of design you're at, whether you're starting or you're looking to figure out those fine-tuned details, I have got the answers for you. You could always book a one-on-one consultation with me, no matter the project, even if it's just figuring out some rugs, some furniture placements, or a kitchen renovation. I am at your service, and I actually have a sale on consultations right now through November 17th, $50 off of a 30, a 60, or a 90-minute session. So be sure you head to the description box down below, click the link, go to intro.co/GarrettLeChic, and for more information, you can check the information in the description box down below, or even go to the community section on my channel and look for the post about the sale. Something I'm super excited about in 2025 is that I think we're finally letting go of the all white everything homes. I think we're leaving it in the past, and I know so many of your favorite design channels have an all white home where everything is all white, like this room behind me right now. Okay, white walls, a white sofa, but color is being embraced, and it's gonna be in an interesting way. We're seeing earth tones in a monochromatic application, and that means two things. Monochromatic means everything is the same tone, and it doesn't all have to be the exact same color, the exact same, shade. It could be variations on that, and I think that's good because it builds depth of field in a space, and that's really essential. But monochromatic just means all of the things are that color. So the upholstery, the walls, the rug, a lot of the same tone in the space because it's just easy to work with and it creates an overwhelming feeling. So a monochromatic space can actually be really easy to visualize, to see, and to relax in because it's one color that's overwhelming the space. It's not taking everything in, and that's good. So that's monochromatic, but what do I mean by earth tones? Because when you hear that, you usually just think like brown, you think neutrals. No, earth tones are organic colors, and they're all outside. You look out a window and you see beautiful colors. You see blues and greens, red is in nature, purple is in nature. All of these wonderful tones are there, and we're looking at more muted versions of them. And I think that's really interesting in a home, especially if you're not the person that is like super comfortable with color, right? Like if everything in your home is white and black, we can layer in something soft, something organic and neutral. And I personally think this trend is really interesting, and and a lot of people will actually be able to accomplish in their homes because it feels accessible, because we already have those colors in front of us. It creates a space that's unexpected but easy to enjoy and access. So you just focus on having the same color everywhere or variations on the same tone. If you're doing dark green, everything should be dark green. If you're doing navy blue, everything should be navy blue. It doesn't have to be the exact same tone, but matching those colors will make the space easier to be in, easier to enjoy by enveloping all of the features in that color. It makes it more accessible for everyone, and I think you're gonna see more of it in 2025. Another massive trend for 2025, and probably the one I'm most excited about, is actually English interiors. Taking inspiration for your interiors from classic English design. And classic English design doesn't mean one thing. You have English country, English cottage, you have Palladian, you have neoclassic. These are all English design ideas or styles that we have seen for a very long time. And the reason they are becoming popular now is because they're classic, because they're beautiful, because we really enjoy them. English interiors are great places to take inspiration from because they focus on classical proportions and interesting details and artwork and curation. And I think those are always really good things to look at in your home because it feels authentic, it feels genuine. And that can mean a lot of different things though. It's not just English design that feels that way. So it's a good place to look. And I think you're going to see more of this happen architecturally in homes because it is very timeless. People are trying to get away from trends. And I think that's really the big thing, is focusing on timeless design, beautiful, elegant spaces that you will never get tired of. For example, I could sit for hours and watch Nicholas Fairford, one of my colleagues here on YouTube. I love his channel and he showcases beautiful design in the English countryside in Scotland. He, I think, just recently went to Ireland and France. All of this beautiful design is showcased there, and it really serves as great inspiration for a home or for any space. And that doesn't mean you have to completely change your home architecturally. You can focus on colors and details and specific styles, or even just styling elements or cues to bring into your home, whether that's more traditional or in a modern way. I'm also seeing a lot of people across all of the social media platforms focusing on bringing English interiors into their homes as far as architecture and built-in features. Kitchens, for example. They're so expensive to redo, and you want to renovate your kitchen once. You want it to be renovated once and then be perfect and timeless. So it's good to look at timeless elements. And I can't tell you how many times I see a home for sale and it's like you flip through the photos, the house is gorgeous, the exterior, oh, it's got great wood floors, and then you get to the kitchen and it's like, no. It's like completely contemporary, out of left field, like it just doesn't feel like it looks like a part of the house. You don't want that in your home. You don't want to completely change this one area, and so the envelope just doesn't make sense anymore. If you have a classic home, look for those classic details and then say, how can we modernize them in the space? What colors can we use, or how can we apply those colors in a way that feels timeless and elegant? Those English interiors are gorgeous, and you're gonna see so many people jumping on this bandwagon, especially across all of the social media platforms, because they're classic, they're timeless, they're elegant, and they are the perfect fit for 2025. And that's my big focus. I love classic design, and it's not just about traditional, contemporary, modern. It's about what is classic for you, for your home. What's the most timeless thing we can do so your style is everlasting? And I think that's beautiful. And I hope that's the takeaway all of you get from this video and every video I produce, which if you're new to the channel, we have 2 of them come out a week and you are missing out. So be sure you join us, hit that subscribe button. We are almost at 80,000 subscribers. We are on the journey to 100,000, and I would love for you to be able to call yourself an OG. So be sure you join us, hit that subscribe button, become a part of our GarrettLeChic family, because I would greatly appreciate it and we would love to have you here. And if you've made it this far in the video, I know you're seeing the value in the content, so be sure you give this video a like. Let's talk about the next big trend of 2025, and I think for interiors, that's gonna be red. And the reason I'm saying red, because it's like red is a very aggressive color. It's a very strong color. It's a very passionate color, and I think that's great. It doesn't always feel comfortable or natural in a home if it's not the correct shade or tone of red. So I think what's really important is that we focus in on what's your style and how does that apply. And the reason I'm saying red really, and what I'm seeing the most of it now, is fashion. Home decor always follows fashion. That's where the trends always start, in fashion, and then they migrate into home decor. And I think red is gonna be one of those trends, because for the fall winter season, every major fashion line, company, house, designer is using some form of red. Usually it's a burgundy. And it's the #1 trending color this year. And actually, I think quite a few companies have made their color of the year, like home decor paint companies, a tone of burgundy. So I think it will become popular. It is seasonal though. So I don't think it's really the color of the year. I say this every year. I don't think the color of the year is real, and I don't think it's ever right because it just never is. But burgundy is a great color to bring into a home. I think red is going to be something more timeless though, because if you look at classic design, red is a color used often. In a dining room, for example, you might see a really moody, saturated, but darker tone of red. In a Persian or Oriental carpet, you're going to see red all in it. And I think that's where this red influence is going to start from those classic details and elements that people are looking to bring into their home. And also, I mean, we're coming up on the holidays. Red's an essential. Another thing in fashion that's trending right now is actually the entire ethos of Ralph Lauren. Basically, the entire brand and its identity are trending in fashion right now because Ralph Lauren does something really successfully, and that is layering and that is texture, amongst other things. But the reason I'm bringing this up when we talk about red is because Ralph Lauren is iconically American. Americana is going to be trending in 2025. Something a little more masculine, something a little more classic, but moody, layered, with great texture to it. I think that's essential for 2025 and great design overall, because I want timeless design, I want beautiful interiors, and I think we have to find some great inspiration for that, and what's happening in fashion right now is definitely that thing. Another trend I'm very excited about for 2025 is actually vintage-inspired light fixtures. This isn't anything new. We've seen this for a long time, but it's where that inspiration comes from that I think is new. So for a long time, it was like agricultural, and I really love outdoor style light fixtures like lanterns. I take a lot of inspiration from that, and I think it's classic and beautiful and definitely timeless. But that next phase or wave of lighting we're being inspired by is actually a little bit more Victorian and a little bit more commercial. So what does that mean? Basically, blown glass, interesting shapes, not necessarily clear glass, milk glass. That's kind of interesting for light fixtures too, because you get an opaque look and feel. You don't have to see a light bulb. You know, as an interior designer and as a lighting lover, seeing an exposed light bulb is my biggest pet peeve. It's so uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable, nobody likes it. So having glass on a light fixture that is not clear, it does have that like milkiness or opaqueness to it, is beautiful because you get glowing light that way that is not harsh. And I think that's wonderful. Brass detail, bronze details are going to be very, very in. I love bronze because it's that perfect blend between black and brass. It's warm, but it's not bolder in your face. I don't have bronze in my home because I'm just like a brass person. I like brass and maybe some black accents, but bronze is great for hardware on light fixtures. I'm actually seeing a big and different inspiration happen for table lamps, and that is inspired by mid-century and postmodern lighting. I love mid-century and postmodern lighting, but it's hard to find and it's very expensive when you do. It's some of the most inventive design out there. And I think it's interesting, you get a lot of orb and round shapes and light cast in interesting ways. That's something great to be inspired by. So look for light fixtures that follow that cue. Lighting is gonna be the place where you see a lot of personality brought into homes. And I also love lighting because doesn't matter where you are, what home you live in. If you're in an apartment, if you're renting, if you have a home, a small home, a large home, a big home, you need great lighting, and you can really personalize your home through the light fixtures you bring into it. You know, interior design is so much more than just picking out pretty things. It's a science. There's a psychological aspect to it that you have to understand, and lighting is one of the key principles of great interior design. And I would love to make a video all about lighting, maybe lighting mistakes that people make and how to fix them, but will you commit to watch it? Be sure you comment down below and let me know. If I make that video, will you tune into it? Will you watch it? Will you put your bell notification on so you get notified when it comes out? Comment down below, engage, like those comments, let me know, sound off. And by the way, everybody is telling me that I look just like Arden. My husband even said it too. I don't know how I feel about being called that, you know, like I look like a dog, but he's so beautiful and regal. So I am taking it as a compliment as of this moment. But sound off, do you think that we look alike? Could we be twins? This is Arden's nap time. He knows when we come in here, when I'm sitting on the sofa, he just needs to lay here right next to me and sleep. So he's just like zero interest in it. He's passed out. He's like, I'm laying here next to you. Let's get into the video. Anyway, the next thing we absolutely have to talk about, the next thing I think is going to be majorly trending in 2025 is actually the entire quiet luxury vibe, the aesthetic, and that moment. What is quiet luxury? Honestly, when I have the answer to that, I'll tell you. No, that's the whole thing. Quiet luxury is what you make of it. What is an understated thing that's expensive that people don't necessarily know or spot right away? How do you achieve that expensive look without having designer labels or expensive things thrown in your face? And I think that's the principle that's being brought into interior design right now. And I think it's interesting, but quiet luxury for me is all about the materials used, the textures used, and then details. When it comes to the materials used, I'm always looking for authentic materials, genuine materials, honest materials. That's the big trend. You're gonna hear a ton in 2025, honest materials. Basically, it just means something that's of nature, an organic material, whether it is a plant fiber or cellulose fiber like cotton or linen, or it's a protein-based fiber which comes from an animal like wool. And those are sorts of things that we wanna see. And the next thing is texture. Bring in multiple elements or different materials. Bring in a mohair, bring in a velvet, bring in a linen, bring in a cotton. All of these things layered together have that expensive feeling and layered detail. Another thing you can do for layering is actually all about color. Layer a multitude of similar tones together to create a really cultivated feel. That looks expensive, it looks interesting, it's layered, it's detailed. You look at that and you're like, oh wow, I can take that in, I can understand that, like I'm seeing that. Why does that look so expensive? You always see that with muted tones. Muted neutrals layered together always look extremely expensive, and you have no idea why. It's like, you know, what's happening here? That's because they look genuine, they look authentic, they look honest, but there's also not a lot of contrast that's distracting you from things. And last but not least, the fine details in your home. That's really where luxury speaks, right? When you're looking at fashion or you're looking at like, should I buy this or am I thinking about it? You're looking at the details in that element or that item. Less is more when it comes to detail. Not having just nothing, okay, because we wanna see a little something, but knowing when to take it away, knowing when enough is enough and to pull back is what makes a space look and feel luxurious. So I think you're gonna see less about the luxe look for less and more about like old money for interiors. I think that's what you're gonna see like trending on, you know, reels or shorts on Instagram or YouTube, like all over the place. I think that's what it's really gonna be about. Well, there you have it, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure you check out this video right over here, all about elevating the ordinary and decorating the average home. And while you're at it, be sure you check out this video right over here about how to make your small home look expensive. Even if your home isn't small, be sure you check it out, and I will see you over there.